Well, howdy. This week on the Prospector Paul channel, we're going to work with Minelab's Manticore, the Beast. And we're going to take it out in the Arizona desert, and we're going to test this baby out. I'm telling you, this thing is incredible. Wait till you see this. Alright, so let's get into it, and we'll let Debbie take it from here. Alright, Debbie's going to show us how to operate the cam locks.
Well, I'm going to show you a bunch of different things.
Okay.
So, on here,
Armrest.
this is really important, this little lift here.
Oh, yeah.
Because on every detector, your arm is sitting against the shaft. So your arm goes up on a diagonal.
Correct.
Right? Which
yes.
gives you fatigue in your upper arm, even though it's very light. This little lift that they did here, if you look, my arm is completely parallel right with the shaft.
Isn't that something?
So that's why
brilliant.
It swings so nice.
Sure.
And feels easy. What they did too is, on Equinox, you only had 3 different levels that you could adjust the height.
Okay.
Now you have all...
Oh, the whole way, it's all geared.
All the way down, yeah.
Yeah. Like a giant worm gear.
Yep.
That's brilliant.
Much more pliable plastic.
Nice.
Then on the control, there's a little lip here.
Mm-hmm.
People were saying on Equinox that their hand would slide forward.
Okay.
So this is going to catch it here.
Okay.
The control deck is much more robust than on Equinox. And then the shaft is completely carbon fiber. And there's a couple things on here. If you look here, the ears are actually part of the lower shaft and not part of the coil.
Interesting.
So if you were to break this, it's a lot less expensive replacing the lower shaft than it will be
the whole coil.
The whole coil.
Correct.
Then you have adjustable cam locks. Move this out of the way.
Yep.
So you have adjustable cam locks. Nice. So you can tighten or loosen them as needed.
Right.
Same with the upper one as well.
That's an awesome little invention.
Now, a lot of people have asked if this is a concentric coil within a double D coil because of these bars here.
Sure.
This is just support.
Okay.
So it's
still a double D. You can see the D here.
It's still a double D.
The D there.
This here is just supports.
Nice.
For it. So your swing, especially with this, you're not going to have fatigue. It doesn't feel nose heavy. It's a really nice swing, and a lot of it's just because of that lip right there.
Definitely is.
Yep. Now on the controls, so this is Multi-IQ Plus. So you have 50% more capacity in the battery that is being pushed down into the coil.
Okay.
Okay. So it's going to give you better separation. You get a lot more features on here. So for example, this is your home screen.
Yes.
Our sensitivity now goes from 1 to 35 versus Equinox, which was 1 to 25.
Okay.
You also have the 2D screen, which is going to give you a lot of information.
Very much
Where
so.
it's gray, that's where you're discriminating out iron.
Okay.
Or bottle caps or whatnot.
Sure.
It shows, and our modes are different now. Instead of having a park 1 and 2, a field 1 and 2, and so on, it's going to be all-terrain. And then so right now I'm in all-terrain general.
Okay.
I've got ground balance tracking is on. It's my battery power. On this detector, it's 9 hours runtime.
9 hours, nice.
Your depth gauge. And then here, so right now, if I hit this,
yep.
If I hit that, I'm in all metal, and then I'm discriminating.
Okay.
So same, just the horseshoe back and forth. On my cogwheel, if I go into my cogwheel, this is where all my settings are.
Wow.
So we'll go up to the top here so you can just see. We can quickly run through. So general settings, I have vibration in the handle now, on or off.
Okay.
I have a 10-stage backlight.
Wow.
And an auto mode, which there's a sensor on here that will, I believe it's this one, a sensor on here.
Yep, I see it.
And you can see it'll adjust the lighting for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you have a keypad. Put this back. Then you have a keypad light, which I don't think we're going to be able to see it.
Yeah, it would light up the buttons.
But it lights up the buttons. And then you have a 3-stage flashlight.
Which is built on the bottom side of this unit.
Yep, which is right here.
Right there. Interesting.
3-stage flashlight.
Huh.
And then these 2 keys are soft keys, so you could set them to be whatever you want them to be.
Okay.
You can program to be what you want.
Sure.
Then you go through the frequencies, so it's the same as Equinox. You have 5, 10, 15, 20, and 40 kilohertz, and then you have multi-IQ. You want to be running in multi-EQ plus as much as you can, because that's one of the main features of why you're getting this detector.
Okay.
Audio theme, you have normal, which is going to sound more like Equinox. Then you have enhanced, it'll sound more like a CTX. And then continuous, which disables the target tones and will help you with depth of a target.
Wow.
By the sound. And you have your threshold on each one.
Okay.
So you can set that. Then on your tones, you now have one tone.
Separation, yeah.
And you can adjust where you want the tone to start and stop. And then you have 2 tones and 5 tones.
Wow.
So everything in this area that's conductive will have 1 tone.
Right.
A different tone here. Then what they did is they did regional, and you can see now the line is sloped.
Yeah.
So you can have where you're going to have it start and stop. Anything in this region here will have, it's the same tone but a variation of the pitch.
Okay.
So you have that for 2 tones and for 5 tones.
Right.
And again, you can start and stop your slope wherever you want it.
Nice. Nice feature.
Let's go back there. Then if we go down, then your ferrous volume, so how loud you want your iron to sound. Then this is your ferrous limits. So in comparing it to Equinox, that would be your FE or F2. On Equinox, you can only adjust one of them at a time. On this, it's simultaneous, and you'll actually see your adjustments as you change them on the graph.
Okay.
So you'll know exactly what you're changing.
Right.
And you have 4 custom presets that you can call on. Discrimination pattern, you have all the capabilities of discriminating any way you want. Then your recovery speed, just like Equinox, 1 to 8.
Okay.
Ground balance can either be, right now I'm in tracking, or you can have it off completely just by hitting it off.
Okay.
Now it's off. Or you can manually ground balance. Noise cancel.
This is fast, isn't it?
Yep, very quick. Done.
Wow.
And then your modes. So right now we're in all-terrain general.
Mm-hmm.
Next will be to all-terrain fast, low conductors, high conductors, and trash reject. Now I'll show you, we'll go back to the screen. So if you look at trash reject,
Yeah.
and now if I go back to the screen, you can see how my discrimination pattern has changed.
All that grayed out.
Right.
It won't sense that material or give you that number, right? Or
Correct.
Okay.
And
show
then,
the target.
and then if I go back, I'm just going to go back to, let's go to low conductors.
Sure.
And you can see now the pattern has changed.
Yes, it has.
And for each of these, you can change the pattern. You don't have to stay with the factory presets.
Oh, okay.
But that kind of gives you an idea what it does.
So it's really customizable.
Yes.
Wow.
Beach now, you have a low conductor, deep, and then surf and seawater.
Aha.
And then gold, you have 1 gold field.
1 gold setting. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that is really something.
And they made it, as silly as it sounds, you can go forwards and backwards.
Nice.
Before you couldn't, you had to go through the whole thing.
Okay.
So we're just going to put it back on general here. And then you've got your volume, and that's your menu.
That's that. Boy, that's pretty simple, really, for all the features.
It is. You can do, like on Equinox, you can, if you turn it on, select your mode, noise cancel, and adjust your sensitivity, you can go out detecting, and you will find stuff.
Nice.
Same with this, but you also have a lot of different things you can do. And this is going to afford, this whole 2D screen is going to afford you a lot more information
Yes.
before you dig.
Yes, that's for sure. So if you were in an iron patch and you had iron and non-ferrous targets in there, this will discriminate and show you those targets.
Right.
And
then if you go into all metal, when an iron ID comes up, it'll have a red line underneath it.
Okay.
So now you don't have negative numbers like in Equinox. Equinox, you had -9 to 40.
Correct.
On this, it's 0 to 99.
Wow.
Because iron will show up here, so you don't need the negative number.
Got it.
Because it's going to show up. So why don't we do some targets in here, and then we can show you the screen.
Awesome. Let's
Okay.
do that.
So you can see both targets on the screen.
You sure can.
That's the silver ring.
The one that's bleeding upwards is a silver ring.
It might not be all silver,
Okay.
but there's something else in here. Yeah, something here.
Oh, we have a different target.
Just picking that up. So we got both targets there. Let's put a nail in.
Okay. Oh, that wasn't a nail. That big one? Again? There we are.
So now if you look, it's not hitting it because I'm in all metal.
Right.
But it's up in the iron.
Sure is.
Now if I go 90 degrees on it, so I'm going to go in front.
Okay.
You'll see that I can size it. See how long it gets?
Yep.
So you can also size the target.
Huh.
As
Tells
well.
you how big it is.
Yep.
Perfect. Now you see all 3 targets on the screen.
Yep. You got your iron up there, then you've
Sure.
got the brass, the silver.
Isn't that something? That is a lot of information.
Gives you tons of information.
For sure. What a fantastic machine. That is really something. Huh.
It's going to help you to determine whether you want to dig or not dig, especially in complex iron.
Yeah.
Because if it's bleeding
Explain
down,
complex iron, because I didn't
it
even
could
really
be like
know
a horseshoe. A horseshoe always sounds good. A
Right.
bent nail sounds good. This is going to give you more information that if it's showing up in the iron
Sure.
and bleeds a little bit, because sometimes on complex iron you can get a good signal out of it
Right.
with the thud of iron. But if you see it bleeding and you can't discern 2 separate targets,
Yeah.
you know, pretty good chance, and go 90 degrees on it, it's a pretty good chance that it's iron.
And it's
So it's going to
bent
give
or-
you more information if you want to dig it or not.
Understood.
As I know you do and I do, I dig everything.
Right,
So,
exactly.
but it'll give you a little bit more information of what you're going after.
Yeah, that's excellent. Wow, that has really got some great capabilities. What a
It's
fantastic
going to be
machine.
a fun little detector,
No doubt.
for sure.
Yes.
And it folds up to 25 inches. So you can see, Paul, how this is bleeding. I'm still getting a tone, but see how it's
Oh yeah,
bleeding?
definitely got that down drop in there.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm going to guess that it's iron. Because the minute I switch,
Got it right there. Yep, there it is. Good guess. Now it's got a bigger head on it, so that confused the machine a little bit.
well, that would be more kind of complex, but because, see how this one's bleeding too now?
Yeah, sure is.
So there's going to be more nails in here.
Yeah, there's been a lot found here. But it's saying it's a little deeper then. Of course, you're off the ground a bit too. Yep, there it is. This is that little head. Found that little bugger. That's a boot tack. Yep. Neat. Huh.
Now that's not in iron at all. It's going down towards the discrimination on the low end.
Oh yeah. So it could be, well, we're gonna have to find out, ain't we?
Yep. Yep, that's why.
And 22 casing.
Good target.
Yep. Brass. So we got a $50 and an iron stake down there.
Yep. And if you look at the screen,
Yeah, we can see this is the iron, and
the
that's the
iron.
good target, the half.
Yep.
For sure. Nice.
and you can also size the target. You can see how
Yeah,
long
it's bigger.
that, how long elongated that target is.
Correct. Very neat. Now it's just showing the iron.
Showing the iron, but it's bleeding.
Now you got the half.
So there's good target.
There we go. Sorry, it's upside down.
And I can see the iron.
Yeah.
But I can still see my good target.
That worked neat.
So the way this line goes, this would be 0, and your target IDs, this would be 0, and that would be 99. So silver, like that walking half, is going to come down over here.
Nice, and it did. It came up
and then your
98.
iron is up in there.
Got
So
it.
you'll see it, you'll visually see it. You won't necessarily hear it.
Yeah.
If it's complex iron, you might hear, like on Equinox, on complex iron, you might get a good target right at the end that you can make repeat. But what it'll show is it'll be up here and it might start bleeding. But if you can't make out that there's 2 separate targets, then you're going to have a decision to make. Do I want to dig it or not?
Gotcha.
So you want to go 90 degrees on it if you get something that bleeds and see if you can separate 2 different targets.
Makes sense. Well, that's good for target identification.
Yep.
That is an awesome technology, and that's not available on the Nox, correct? Or Equinox, I'm sorry.
They don't have the 2. You don't have the 2D screen.
Okay.
That's part of what Multi-IQ Plus is that 2D screen, and also the increased sensitivity.
Sure.
And we know this ground is extremely hot.
Yes, it is.
Screw melted onto a penny.
So what am I going to get?
So-
The screw or the penny? Or both? Oh,
So you make sure you're swinging. It's got to be moving.
yeah.
So you've got. So
I
it's
can
like
see.
question. So what is that? Now go the other direction on it.
90 degrees to it.
So now you have 2 separate targets. There's your iron, and there's your point,
Oh,
or your
darn.
point. But you got to make sure you're moving
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I just...
Yep.
This is Prospector Paul signing off. Do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. That helps the channel grow. Leave me a comment. That really helps the channel grow. And I love that interaction and feedback with y'all. All right, we'll see you in the next one.